So I told you guys that I wouldn't be back up here until I had something important to say. Well, I gotta tell you, first of all, what I love already about this is I didn't have to have, of course you can if you really want to, but I didn't have to have my intro in place very much. I could just sit here and just film and just talk about whatever. And I notice a lot of videos that I myself do this very thing. They go in, you'll hit play or you'll tap the video and they'll just start talking and you immediately get to the point, get into the conversation. So this is one reason why I have a lot to say, because I don't have to overthink. And I have had a lot of engagement on YouTube in different ways than just video. And we're going to get into those ways. I'm just having my nice black coffee here. And, I know the lighting is off and everything, but, I don't really care. It's not really what it's about. I got this little desk set up here that I've been enjoying. The last video I did was about 6 months ago. I can't remember. I know I was in here when I did it. My little suite here. But anyway, I digress really, because I feel like I can. I feel like YouTubers, for whatever reason, have a lot more relaxed conversation. And what I'm kind of talking about is transitioning from podcasting to YouTubing. And it doesn't mean I don't enjoy listening to podcasts of certain topics, but it's more longer form audio, and this is more, I can have a short conversation with you guys if I want. I can have a long conversation, but it doesn't quite, it doesn't quite matter so much. But I notice I've had a lot more meaningful conversations just in YouTube comments with others. And I've gotten to know a lot more YouTubers and their styles of conversations with others in a better way, I feel like. With podcasters, and it could be because I'm better at engaging on YouTube, and with YouTube there's a lot more features. I'd say being good at writing helps a lot, and I'm not a bad writer, so that helps in the comments. But one thing I notice is that with YouTubers getting back, it's kind of cool because you learn a little bit more about them. Like I might be watching a productivity video talking about apps. Do you use this certain app? No, I used to, but I use this app. Oh, interesting. Okay. There's a friend I have in person who is, I'm really impressed with the way that she is not insecure at all, and she'll go in YouTube and she'll teach about different things. And I'll do a video more about once I watch a little bit more, but she does gardening, which is really cool. So Homestead with Me is her channel, and so if you love gardening, I'm getting into gardening because I've always kind of wanted to do it, but I'm kind of learning about what different things I'd want to even garden, because there are a couple things I've thought about, and I do now have a big enough yard to get started if I wanted. So it's really interesting to learn about different things to garden and what you can cook with them and things like that. But just the fact that kind of puts bits and pieces of her life in that, and then she'll kind of teach how to garden and things like that, and just be so relaxed about it. I just don't see certain things like that happening on a podcast, although there are certain things, technology topics and just certain things that maybe you might be interested in specifically, and hence the reason you're listening to their podcast. But I also find that YouTubers that do podcasts as well. Some of them, you know, can take the audio from their YouTubes and put them into a podcast, and they can pull it off pretty well, where a lot of their episodes are good. And then, you know, you can tell that YouTube is still their natural gift, but you know, they want to be in the podcast. They know that it's smart to have a podcast so that people who want long form audio can do that, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of hard work because they have to take the audio and a lot of editing or hiring of editors, and you can appreciate that, especially if you're interested in them as a person anyway. But I still notice that I still find myself easier to watch the videos, you know, because I'm just like, that's where I found them, that's what they do. But then occasionally, if I'm really interested in them as a brand or a person, I'll stop by their podcast and of course leave the best review and everything else. So I've talked about my last video about this, and you know, kind of about where YouTube is going into social. So I kind of wanted to expand a little bit more now. I kind of wanted to let you guys know that I thought it might change because Anchor has made a lot of changes. But one thing I really miss in Anchor that I want to see is short form audio. I think they were really the pioneers of when they had the radio stations and you could post and you had 24 hours. I felt like I posted a lot more because it was like a story format, and now I'm starting to get into stories on Facebook a little more. Seems like the last couple of years I've started to get into social media more, a little more heavier than I was before, because I know how much, you know, it connects and everything. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to make this to tell you guys that my thoughts on YouTube have not changed, and I plan on being here more. And what I love about it is that you can not only do video like I am, you know, when I have the time and the uninterrupted attention and everything, but you know, if you find yourself writing to engage in your YouTubers that you watch every day, it's also another way to communicate. I kind of just feel like YouTube has a little bit more ways of communication. Just like I've got out of complete audio only apps into Facebook more. And I love Twitter, but I gotta have a little more. And it seems like with podcasting, you have to be kind of plugged into Twitter. I don't know what it is, but it just kind of seems like Twitter is always plugged into everybody's podcast. Not Facebook, not Instagram. I know some people have put, you know, audio in their Instagram. I did that for one of my podcasts, and it actually turned out a little better than I thought on my Instagram a while ago. But I feel like with YouTube, there's just a few different ways to communicate, and back to what I said 6 months ago, it is becoming a lot more social, and so I appreciate it. So anyway, just wanted to kind of you know, tell you that my thoughts have not changed on this, and thank you to all my subscribers. It really does mean a lot, and I will see you guys in the next one. No outro required. Peace.